How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin's about to do something that it has never done before. It's something that's extremely bullish, typically. I want to bring that to your attention. Talk about why we have some confluence or some events happening around the same time that are looking really bullish. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on that bell notification so you can see future videos just like this one as soon as I make them, because some of this is time sensitive. I know I've been just talking about some long-term ideas for Bitcoin, some different ways of thinking about Bitcoin, some big news that hasn't been super time sensitive at times, but during the bull market, we will have stuff that you probably should see like as soon as I post it. So that's why I always say, put on that bell notification. There's also a link down there to Margex, where you can long or short different cryptocurrencies. There's no KYC, which means that they don't ask you for a bunch of personal information. You just go put in an email, put in a password, agree to their terms and conditions, and boom, you have an account. There's also a deposit bonus when you use that link that can be used towards fees. So definitely check that out underneath the video. Now, I realize Bitcoin's down a little bit today, cryptocurrency's down. We're still in that $40,000 to $44,000 range, which honestly, consolidating here, I think is bullish. We don't want to continue moving up 10% a day for a week or 2 weeks, because then we will have some kind of blow off top and then we could screw up the entire next bull market. I want something slow and steady and then an explosive move, then slow and steady, then explosive move. That's what I really want to see. Now, part of the reason we have seen so much excitement is because we do have a new deadline for the SEC or for the ETF providers from the SEC. December 29, they want all the new updates in. Sounds like that's about 2 weeks before the final approval from the SEC. Sounds like they just want to have all their ducks in a row and approve everyone at the same time. That's what it sounds like. Now, we are starting to see some people talk too about how the approval of this Bitcoin spot ETF could reach your 401k retirement plans. This is what I think is so bullish. People have talked about how, oh, the day of we're going to crash or the day of we're going to pump. I don't care about the day of the spot approval. I mean, that will be an awesome time because it signifies what I'm about to say, which is that over time, people will buy Bitcoin. It'll be a lot easier for them to buy Bitcoin, and they will hold it for 10, 20, 30, 40 years and not even know it. So there are going to be providers of 401k plans that start putting it in with bonds and with treasuries and with ETF stock exposure, US stock exposure. They will add Bitcoin exposure as well. And when you have people, millions of people buying every single 2 weeks or every single week when they get their paycheck, that is extremely bullish for the price action. It takes Bitcoin off of the open market, takes Bitcoin off of exchanges, takes Bitcoin out of circulation in a way, and just causes the price to go up exponentially when more people want to buy it. It's something that is extremely finite. It's the only thing that's really precious that can't be made more of. Fidelity is extremely bullish on Bitcoin. They are going to be one of these ETF providers. They have 43 million accounts. Imagine every single account or most accounts every other week starting to add a little bit of exposure to Bitcoin, just buying 0.002 Bitcoin every 2 weeks over and over, but millions of accounts doing this. It's going to cause a lot of upwards pressure, and that's a really good thing for the long term for Bitcoin price appreciation. Now, we already have seen some excitement in Bitcoin this year. Hey, we've had an extremely good year for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's about to do something that's never done. It's about to form a golden cross on the weekly chart. Now, this is the first bear market that we actually saw the 50-week moving average fall below the 200-week. So this is the first time that we can have a golden cross on the weekly chart. This is usually very bullish. In technical analysis, this is very bullish for assets. It shows that price appreciation has been really strong and that there's some excitement back in the market, maybe some kind of fundamental change in the market. So this is the first time that we will see a weekly golden cross. Now, this doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to go up to 100,000 tomorrow or 80,000 or 60,000. It doesn't mean anything like that. It just means that we've seen a lot of strength recently. A lot of technical traders might see this as a bullish thing and start to buy in. Now, the interesting thing about this is the timing. The timing is what's so interesting, because this is supposed to happen around the exact same time as the spot ETF gets approved. Pretty interesting, the timing on that. Now, we also have some other interesting events happening very close to each other. For example, January 31, there's about a about a 15% chance now that we have a 25 basis point cut from the Fed. March 20, there's about a 73% chance we get a cut from the Fed. We've gotten really good inflation numbers. This is about the time, this kind of bookends the time that we will have the next Bitcoin halving. So March 20, May 1, right in between those times, we have the next Bitcoin halving. Right now, it's projected about halfway through April. So imagine that. We get ETF approval. We get a lot of news about spot ETFs and Bitcoin and all these ads going live for Bitcoin. We have an ad in the Super Bowl. And then just a few weeks later, we have March 20. We get a cut from the Fed. So more money wants to flow out of money markets. They're repricing what is valuable, how much they should have in stocks versus money markets and savings accounts. And then we have the Bitcoin halving. A lot of people are excited about that. Then we have another 25 basis point cut. That's what's being projected right now. I mean, that's big. There's so many things happening around the same time. I don't know how people aren't bullish. Of course, there are some reasons, I guess, to be a little bit fearful. Like right now, Mt. Gox is unleashing some Bitcoin. I talked about this in a video earlier today, though. This is not long-term bearish. This is something that's actually good just to get out of the way because the market can swallow it right now. People are worried because there's $6 billion worth of Bitcoin possibly hitting the market. Now, a lot of people will probably just hold that Bitcoin because they've waited 10 years or something like that to get their hands on the Bitcoin that was stolen or lost. Now they're getting it right in front of a bull run. Some people will just say, I'm just going to hold on to it another 6 months. Some people will sell it right away. Some people are just taking cash payments, but this is just a blip on the radar. This is something that's good to get out of the way because we've been talking about it for 10 years. I just want to be done with. Something else that's bullish. We've talked about this a lot. A lot of countries are getting into Bitcoin. They have a very long-term time preference. So there are a lot of bullish things all happening around the same time. I mean, everything that we're talking about has either just happened or it's happening in the next 6 months. I love the situation that we're in. Like, I don't know how we could be in a more bullish situation. Like, honestly, sit there and think, what could we have that hasn't happened already? I guess the president of the United States saying that he loves Bitcoin and he's buying every week. We could have the SEC just getting out of the way, just approving everything right away, but it sounds like it's going to be approved in a few weeks anyways, that spot ETFs. We could have more countries buying Bitcoin or more companies, but all of this stuff is happening just in a smaller amount, or we are seeing things move that way. So honestly, I think this has been a very bullish last couple months, and it makes sense. That's why we're starting to get good price action on cryptocurrency. That's why we're getting ready for a golden cross on the weekly, because everyone is getting excited. There is a lot of good news out there. Also, check out that link to Margex. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.